So I just got done with my push workout. So on the push days, I train all the pushing muscles, which are basically the chest, triceps, and shoulders. I refeed pretty much every Friday night, so I had a lot of carbs in my system. I felt really good. I had a lot of energy. So basically what I did is I started with shoulders because there's something I'm trying to work on. It's a weak point of mine. I usually, if I have a weak point, I like to start the workout with it while I have the most energy. And then I moved on to some chest movements and then ended the workout with triceps.
So just after getting in the gym, my first priority is warming up the shoulders. So here I am doing about 15 reps of just 45s on a plate loader press. Did about 2 sets of those. I also wanted to get the rotator cuff joint healthy and ready to support the amount of weight I was going to be pushing today. So I did a couple variants of some shoulder movements, such as this one, which I like to call the scarecrow. Not quite sure why. And now here I am moving into my first working set of my first compound movement for the shoulders, which is the standard push press. A couple things I keep in mind when I do the push press. As you can see, my head goes in front of my elbows at the top of the move. I call this peeking through the window. It helps me to fully engage my shoulders at the top of the move. I also use no leg drive. Because today I'm going slightly higher reps on the shoulder movements, I'll do about 4 working sets of 10 to 12 reps each of this particular movement. If you'll notice, I'm wearing wrist wraps. This helps me to brace my wrist joints against the heavier weights as I increase the overload. So I like to sneak in another shoulder movement before I move on to my other muscle groups, and in this case I'm doing some seated lateral raises. I'll do about 3 sets of 12 to 15.
Towards the beginning of the workout, I was definitely feeling a little bit flat. I had hydrated, I had a good amount of sodium, but still I was feeling a little bit flat, especially in the chest area. It was hard for me to bring blood and get a decent pump going. Not that the pump helps with muscular growth, because it does not. It helps with 2 things. Number one, it enhances the mind-muscle connection. So the more blood in the muscle, the more you can feel each individual fiber moving, and you can kind of feel the muscle a lot better, and you can train it more efficiently.
And as you can see, I've dropped my weight after the final set, performing a little bit more of a slow and controlled drop set, and as you can see, it was hurting pretty bad. Here I'm gearing up for my first compound movement for the chest. So this is a warm-up set right here. I'll do about 135 for maybe about 12 to 15 to warm up. Really going slow and trying to get the pump and just trying to hone that mind-muscle connection with this particular movement. There's a lot I could say about training chest, but when it comes to possibly the most coveted aspect of the chest, that upper chest shelf and separation, it would behoove you to add more incline movements into your routine. While I'm warming up, I like to do some sort of pump-up movements, just doing some push-ups against a bar and stretching out. This is my first working set. I'll do about 5 reps at this weight. Again, desperately trying to keep the blood in the muscle, I'll pump up between sets. This is working set number 2 out of 3. When it's a heavier movement, I'll reduce the amount of total sets I do because the weight is much higher. As you can see, I kind of re-racked and then unracked the weight again because I felt like I could do another 2 reps for the camera. And that's one of the things about filming yourself while you work out. You realize that your ego can help you a little bit as long as you're safe. I had another 2 reps in the tank even though I only planned on doing 5. Here I'm going back to hitting the shoulders. This is kind of a rear and lateral delt focus movement. It's a cable version of the upright row. It's very important to lead with the elbows. This move gave me a crazy pump, and I figured it was about time that I take off the pump cover and start to assess how things are coming along for the workout. This next move is more focused on the front delts, so I don't feel weary about doing them right after a lateral delt focus move. This is the standard Arnold Press. I sat down for the first set of it, but then I stood up for the remaining 3. As a classic bodybuilder, you must pose between sets. You must assess how the pump is coming along and how your physique as a whole is coming along. Assess what's new, assess what's lagging behind. It's a constant assessment that the ordinary man may mistake for vanity. Finally, I'm moving into another chest pressing movement. Here I'm using a leverage machine, which I will superset with this sort of front and side combo raise that you can see in the upper left-hand corner. Since my chest movements are heavier today, I'll do slightly less reps on this exercise. I like to finish with an isolation movement, such as this for the chest, cable flies. This allows me to really burn out every muscle fiber in the chest after completing heavy compound movements. I will then increase the burn by doing a set of push-ups after each set. I'll do maybe about 4 of these. Now I'm moving into the tricep focused portion of my routine. Here I'm performing skull crushers. A very important tip on this exercise. Your starting point should not be with your elbows 90 degrees to your body. They should be a little bit past 90 to keep tension on the triceps at all times. You can even burn out with little presses like I'm doing here after your final set. I did 4 sets. I'm assessing the fullness of my side chest pose, one of the stronger poses in my arsenal. Here I'm performing some dumbbell tricep kickbacks. I like to incorporate a good amount of cable and free weight work into my tricep and arm training in general. This is the final move for my triceps and for the workout as a whole. I'll do some cable pull-downs, making sure to pause for about a second at the bottom of each rep. I'll do maybe 3 sets of 10 of these, depending on how I feel, and might even end it with a drop set.